Hey everybody, Bill with American Liberty Fighters again. Okay, so a quick video here. Of course you all know that my wife and I are purchasing 40 acres up in Arkansas, and I wanted to buy something for home defense type deal, and I went through a whole bunch of tests with some buddies from work, went to a gun range and fired a whole range of different weapons that one of the guys had. I made my mind up on the kind of gun I wanted, and my wife and I went out and bought it. We used for early Christmas, late birthday type deal. Bought myself a weapon. So I just want to do a comparison of what one of the guys had for concealed carry as well as what I bought. And for me, the heavier one was the better one. So one of the guys that I know, he brought in a 9mm, and of course I'm going to unload it. Okay, so this is a 9mm Glock 19. He uses it for his defense. It's got 15 round clip. I believe he said it could go up to 17. The problems I have with this weapon in particular is there's no real safety. There's a trigger safety, but once you put your finger on the trigger and you pull the trigger safety back here,
it's not focusing.
This black piece here is the trigger safety. You put your finger on that, the trigger pulls. So there's really no safety on this weapon. It doesn't work well for me. Even though our children are full grown and out of the house, I don't really particularly like this weapon. The one that I do like, and I like a lot, and I've researched it, and I am going to unload this one as well. Oh, pardon me. This is a SIG 1911 Scorpion. It's an 8-round clip. It's 45 caliber, and this is the 45 caliber in the home defense style. It's a hollow point. So I have what they told me. It's Winchester PDX-1 Defender, 45 caliber auto. I did some work for one of the guys at work and traded him for another box of Winchester 45 caliber auto hollow points. So these are for home defense, and if you're not familiar with that, the home defense basically means that the hollow point here, the way it's designed, is it hits, and on impact the bullet will expand and it will not exit. So once it hits your target, it's going to go in and it's going to make a big mess inside the body. I also have 45 caliber for just for practice. In fact, this weapon came with 2 clips. This is the regular ammunition that I bought. Basically, it's 45 caliber for target practice. So I don't really care at this point whether this, when I go to target practice, whether this round will go through a wall or anything, because I'm actually going to be I'm going to be on a gun range firing it, or I'm going to be on my own gun range firing it. What I really like about the 1911 is once you've cocked it, it's an ambidextrous safety. So you have your safety feature on both sides where you can actually take it off and put it on, and it's pretty simple once you figured it out, and you can't pull the trigger. So once you've loaded the rounds, you have your safety. It also has The sights are glow-in-the-dark sights. Like I said, this is a 45 caliber. It holds 8 rounds in the magazine. This is 9 mil, and it holds 15 in the magazine that it currently has. And as you can tell, which I won't be leaving this one loaded, there's a difference in size, a definite difference in weight. I fired the 1911 in the 45 caliber a lot better than I did any other caliber. He also, of course, this is a 40 caliber, and if you, I guess, were to compare 40 caliber, there's your 9 mil, and there's your 45. So even though I can only fit 8 rounds in my magazine, I don't really believe I'm going to be too worried about whatever I fire at. It's probably going to drop. This, of course, isn't the only weapon that I have, and I kind of debated on whether or not to do any kind of video on home defense, but I figured, why not? Couldn't hurt. And anyways, anybody else has any information? Like I said, I'm not an expert on this. This, in fact, and I don't know why it is, but no one believes that an Army veteran or a veteran of the military never had a pistol while in service. I'm not quite sure why that is. I mean, honestly, they didn't issue us a pistol. I wasn't an officer. I was enlisted. So, of course, I would not have had a pistol. I just recently, for the first time ever, fired a 1911 45 caliber. I fired a range of 9 mils. I fired a 40 caliber. I fired a range of different weapons out on the range when I went out there, and like I said, the one that I felt most comfortable with was the 1911 in the 45 caliber range. I was able to hit the target better with it. I noticed on the lighter weapons, I tended to drop the nose of the pistol, so it didn't really work for me. I didn't care for it, so I went with the 1911. I don't know if anybody else maybe has anything to say on the 1911, the 9 mils, whatever Glocks. My wife actually was looking at another one, and I can't remember for the life of me what caliber it was. I believe it was a 9 mil, but it was a very lightweight pistol for home defense and concealed carry. And I know that the 1911 is not really your typical, in this barrel length, it's not typical for concealed carry, but in the state of Texas we have open carry, and when we go to Arkansas, I don't believe that on my property I'm going to worry about open carry, concealed carry. If I have it on, I have it on. That's pretty much what I'll do. And we're still in the market for a couple other weapons. So anyhow, this isn't quite a review or anything. I haven't really been able to go back out to the range because, as I told you in the other video the other day, we have been so busy lately doing our moves, packing, moving, and setting up our temporary quarters. I haven't had a chance to go back, but I do have my my license to carry class paid for. I plan to go and take that. And of course, if you've never taken a license to carry or a concealed carry course, once you've completed the course, you take an exam, you go on the firing range, and you have to qualify on the firing range. And then you have to take all of your paperwork, at least for the state of Texas, you take all your paperwork at that point, and you send it in and then they put you through an entirely new quit. Sorry about that. We have a dog chewing on himself. But once you go through that, you have to actually get approved. You have to go through another background check to get your license to carry, which I find to be redundant and ridiculous. I had to go through a background check to buy my pistol. Within 30 days, which now we're out of the 30-day period, I have to go back if I want to buy another weapon of any kind, a pistol, rifle, whatever, and I have to go through a background check yet again to buy a new one. So why should I have to go through another background check and pay another, I think it's $240 for my license to carry license, which, if you've heard me before, that right there takes your right to carry and your freedom to defend yourself and makes it a privilege. You are now privileged to carry your weapon and privileged to defend yourself as long as you do it legally. If you don't, and you don't follow the rules, you're the one in trouble. Whether you're being robbed, shot at, or held at gunpoint and you kill the individual who was doing that to you and you kill them, then you're held liable. So anyhow, my new pistol, the first one of, I'm sure, a few more that'll come. That's really about all I've got to say. This again is not a review. This is just my own personal opinion. Anybody else has an opinion about it, go ahead, please leave some comments down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.